The US visa lottery actually open every year for the subsequent 2 years ahead, and this is the time you need to submit your application. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through what is the benefit of applying to this and why you need to apply to this, how you are going to apply, what are the requirements, and what are the procedure for you to submit your DV lottery application today. Now, let's take a quick step back and see why you need to apply to this. The Department of the United States administer the diversity visa immigrant visa program, and it is an annual program for immigrants to the United States. Up to 55 immigrants can enter the United States each year from different countries that have low rate of immigration to the United States. So if your country is one of those countries that have less than 55,000 people coming into the United States annually, then you are eligible to this. So we are going to be looking at how you can then submit a proper application. Applying to this actually take multiple steps. So you want to make sure you actually stick around and understand what you need to do if you want to be selected for the DV visa lottery for 2026, right? Like I said, before we start the process, I want you to make sure you take your pen and jot down important information that I will be sharing with you today. So let's quickly look at the requirements, the procedure you need to follow to be able to submit proper application. If you've not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do well to subscribe to this channel. The application window for this is actually from October 2nd, 2024 to November 5th. So if you are watching this in a later time, then you want to make sure you wait for the next round of this DV application, right? So how do you apply? What are the information you need, right? All of these are things you need to pay rapt attention to. Applicants may be disqualified for not completing the entry form correctly. And if you are submitting more than one entry, now you need to be certain that you might not get selected, because when you submit more than one entry and you are not filling in your information correctly, you might not be selected. Okay, so let's look at all the required information for successful application, and I will walk you through this step by step. Step one, you want to make sure that you actually submit an entry. How do you submit an entry? There's a limited time period when you can register for the DV lottery, right? So the full name is Diversity Immigration Visa, but to make it easier, I will call it the DV program. During each fiscal year, each year the Department of State publish the information and the instruction about the registration during which you will be able to enter. So you want to make sure that you are actually getting yourself ready to submit all the entry, and all entry must be submitted online on the Electronic Diversity Visa website, which is the EDV website. During the registration period uh, is not always being extended. So you want to make sure you don't take chances, right? If you submit more than one entry, like I said earlier, you will be disqualified. Okay, so the website I'm going to be sharing with you will actually guide you through more information, right? Through the application process. And you will see a confirmation screen after you submitted your entry properly, right? Containing your name just to confirm your information again, and a unique confirmation number after you click on the submit button, right? When you submit a complete entry, print the confirmation screen for your record so that you can follow up with your entry. And it is important that you retain the confirmation number, keep it somewhere safe, right? Because you are going to need this confirmation number as we move forward in this step by step information. So, this is very important to you, and this is what you need to keep safe, right? So after this, you will need it. You then need to know that you will also need this confirmation number for your visa interview if you have been selected. And there's no cost to register for this DV program. So, which means you can actually register for yourself totally free, right? And you are strongly encouraged to complete the entry yourself without anybody's support because of errors. If somebody else help you, you should be present, right? So for those who might be requesting for support with this, then you might actually need to be in a one-on-one section with the person that is supporting you if the person is not actually with you wherever you are. So what we just talked about is how you submit your entry. Now let's quickly go to step two. For step two, this is where the selection of applicants take place, right? Every applicant who have been selected each year, when the applicants are being selected, it will be announced, right? The Department of State will not mail notification letter or notify selectee by email, right? The US Embassy and Consulate will not provide a list. Entrance status check on the EDV website is the only way by which the department notify the selectee. So you want to make sure you keep yourself informed about the selection process. Okay, those not selected will also receive notification only through the entrance status check, which is why your confirmation number is very, very important. And you are strongly encouraged to use the entrance status website to do this. All of those links, I will make sure I try to drop them at the uh, description of this video. Right? Selected entrants are encouraged to complete the online DS260 after you are sure that you've been selected immediately to schedule an interview appointment in the appropriate US embassy or consulate that is near to you. And if your entry is elected, you will be directed to a confirmation page that provide additional instruction, including information about the fee connected with the immigration to the United States. Entrance status check is only way by which you are going to get notified. This is at the point where you will then have to pay, right? No money is to be paid during the application process, right? When you are doing your first uh, entry submission. So let's take a quick recap to the information. Submit your entry, wait for announcements about the selection. And the third step is actually if you have been selected, what do you do? Right? It is important that you actually get yourself ready, and they encourage that anybody that is selected should complete the online DS260. So these are things I expected you or I expect you to be taking note of now as we proceed in this video. Right. So every applicant will have to fill the DS260. I repeat that again. Every applicant who has selected will have to select uh, the or complete the DS260 application immediately to schedule an interview appointment, right, with the embassy. Okay, so you need to also be aware that nobody will send you email, so you need to keep checking. It is important to remember that the selection does not guarantee that you are going to receive a visa. Okay, so you just want to make sure you put in your best to submit appropriate application during each phase of this process. And to receive a DV to the immigrant to receive the DV to immigrate to the United States, you must still meet all the requirements under the United States law. So, which means you are guaranteed only if you meet all the requirements. Okay, if you don't meet all the requirements, there's no guarantee that you get your visa, even if you are selected for the DV lottery. Right. So I think that is explanatory enough. Let's go to step four. In step four, you are going to confirm your qualification. The DV program required a person who is a principal applicant right now, if you are moving with your spouse, to have a high school education or its equivalent, or 2 years of qualifying work experience as defined under the US provisional law. And if you do not have either the required education or qualifying work experience, you will not be able to proceed because you are not eligible for the DV visa. Only if, only if, only you as the principal applicant must meet the requirement. Okay. So, which means the dependents or your spouse and children do not need to meet this requirement. Since you are the main applicant here, you should consider not putting in information about your spouse or the children that they meet requirements. They are only considering the requirement for the main applicant. And if you don't meet the qualifying education work experience, you are not eligible. Okay, so high school education for those who actually want to go with high school, and also only or how should I put this, a high school education shows that you've actually completed a 12 years course, right? Only formal courses of study meet this requirement. So if you have your high school that is 12 years, so in Nigeria that should be our WAEC certification, right? So this qualify you, and you are also qualifying with work experience. You must have 2 years of work experience in the last 5 years, right? So that's get it done. How do you find the qualifying occupation? So there's a database link that you need to check. I will make sure I drop the default link for you to go through the application information yourself. When you confirm your qualification, you want to move to this next step, which is the step 5. You need to start preparing to submit your immigrant visa and alien registration application. What does this mean? The principal applicant and all family members applying for the DV program must complete a form that is called the Form DS-260. I repeat, Form DS-260. You will need to enter your DV case number into the DS-260 online form to access and update the information, update information about yourself and your family that you include in the DV entry. So you want to make sure that you don't just fill in the information, you want to make sure you cross check. And if your family circumstance have changed after you enter the DV program, for example, you are married or you had a child and you will need to add your new family member to the case, right? Family member are those spouse, children, you will need to upload the document to prove your relationship to the family being added when adding family member to your case. So don't just think you can add them. You will need a proof to say you are going to add them, right? Failure to include an existing spouse or children on your original entry form may make you as well any of your family member ineligible for a DV, right? Similarly, listing a spouse or a child on your original entry form who was not actually your spouse or child might also make you as well family not eligible, right? As indicated in the information given, you are not eligible if you are not following the proper information. Okay, so you then need to actually sign the DS-260 form. There's a last page there where you have your signature. Then I think that's this submit page, right? So again, you will need to confirm uh your DV case number, right? So it's something that is very, very important. And one thing people actually made mistake is case uh people make mistakes when it comes to zero, capital zero and O, right? Capital O and zero, right? So some people call it O, while some people call it zero. So you need to be careful and sure that you are putting in the right information, right? So it is better you copy it somewhere and paste it in your notes, okay? And then you are able to complete this. You must bring the confirmation page to the visa interview, right? The confirmation page you have after you follow those process. Then there's a process called the KCC. Okay, so this KCC can only tell you if your form has been processed, right? The KCC cannot tell you if you or your family member are eligible or not. Okay, only the consular officer will interview you, who will interview you, will make this decision. Okay, so if you need to contact the KCC, always include your name, date birth, case number, all of those information that they can use to actually identify you. Now, sixth step or step six, it is important that you know that the selectee are not required to submit supporting documents to the KCC, right? And onward, you are still required to submit the DS260 form, right, for more information. After this process is the phase where the preparation of your supporting document take place, and each family member who will accompany the applicant to the United States will need to prepare copy and any required translation of their document or certified copy of the document they are adding, right? So what are these documents you need to include, right? All of these are information that you can actually find on the official information website. So I'm just giving you a quick run through so that this video is not so long today. Okay, now you need to include your birth date, right? Certificate. You need to include police certificate. You need to include passport data page and more, right? And many more documents that you are going to see there. So I can't list everything for you here. So you need to go through and get detailed information. Step 7. On the step 7, we are then going to the interview stage. This is where you go to the consular, go with all the documents you fill in, right? So the US embassy or consulate you selected during your DS260 application online, right? The email you instruct to log into the entrance status check, right? All of these are things that you need to pay attention to, and you will only be scheduled for an interview when and if there's a visa number available for you. Okay, so you need to make sure you put in the effort as soon as you can. Going through this visa interview stage is not something that guarantees that you are moving to the United States. So you need to prepare yourself. You need to review your DV information and make sure you are not making any mistake, right? So scheduling information in the entrance service check website. We also know the dates, the time, location of your immigrant visa interview. So if you are not certain which day it is, you can go back there and check your information yourself. Okay, so there may be additional information that you also need to check through. Make sure you check through your information. You need to schedule and complete a medical examination that will be instructed to you, right? Gather photograph and all remaining required documents. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the photograph later on, the acceptable photograph that you need to prepare, right? So you don't just submit anyhow photograph. You need to prepare a photograph. Last year, when this program actually opened for 2025, I made a video about how you can actually prepare the photograph yourself. So I think I will also pin that video alongside with this. Okay, each applicant will require to present the following that I'll be talking about: the appointment information, right? That is printed from the entrance status check website, the DS260 confirmation page, your passport that is valid for 6 months beyond the intended date of entry, original document or certified copy of your civil documents. Okay, there are some civil documents you need to check through. This is step 8. Okay, then you then review additional information, right? Now, we've said it that you don't need to pay any fee, but one thing is you have to actually pay a fee. Not at the start of the program for submitting entry, right? Before the interview, each applicant must pay the DV fee, right? Which is not a entry submission fee, right? For DV 2024, the applicant's fee is was actually $330 per person, right? This fee is actually non-refundable. So whether the visa is issued or not, you need to pay attention that this is not refundable. Okay. So we said it earlier that getting selected by the DV program does not mean that you are getting your visa. So you want to prepare your mind. Okay. Fee payment procedure varies. Different US embassy and consulate also have their procedure. Okay, you should plan to pay your fee before the interview date, right? Make sure you prepare this and look for a way to get yourself ready. Further instruction, you can read it on the official website. Now, the applicant interview. You've prepared for your interview, you've submitted your entry, you've done your DS260, then it is time for you to actually submit uh yourself to be interviewed, right? So I'm actually kidding. You are not submitting yourself, but getting yourself to the consular to get more intelligence about you. Okay, who must attend the interview? Where? Yourself, your spouse, and any other qualified children that is coming with you must participate in the interview. And if your spouse or children will immigrate at a later date and travel separately with you, they are not required to participate in your interview. If you are not coming together at the same time, they are not uh, allowed to participate in your own interview. So they will be scheduled for a separate one. Okay, so when you are then scheduled for your interview, maybe together with your spouse, what do you bring? You bring your appointment letter, you bring the DS260 confirmation page that you've printed, your passport, your photograph, medical exam result, original and supporting document we've talked about, translation of your document, then the visa fee. All of these are things that you need to pay attention to and bring them along with you. Okay, now, the last but not the least, which is step 10. After the interview, what happens? Right? What happens? This is the last stage of the application process. At the end of your immigrant visa interview at the US consulate, right? The consular officer will actually inform you whether your visa application is approved or denied. And if this is approved, you will be informed how and when your passport will be returned to you. If it's denied, you will be informed why you are ineligible to receive a visa. You can find more information about this on their website where they talk about denial and all of those, right? And when this is actually being approved, you will receive your visa, right? Your passport with the stamp of the visa, right? So your DV visa will be placed on a page in your passport to check through, right? Make sure you review the printed information right away to make sure that there is no error, right? There is no error. Then you're also going to get a seal immigrant package, right? You will receive a seal package that contain documents you must present to the US Custom and Border Protection at the point of entry, right? Upon your arrival in the United States, you must not open the seal package. You must not open the seal package when you receive this. I repeat, you must not open the seal package. Okay? Don't open this seal package when you receive it. I just repeat that again, right? Because some people they want to see what is inside, they will think that they can actually gum it back. You must not open it. Now, when you've received your seal immigrant package, when is the best time for you to travel? You must arrive and apply for the admission in the United States not later than the visa expiring date printed on your visa. So, which means if you are being awarded or given the visa, it does not mean that you should travel immediately, but you must travel before the expiring date that is printed on your visa. Okay, the DV visa is actually usually valid up to 6 months from the time that is being given to you. So you have 6 months to do all preparation, fairway, bidding of fairway, and all of those, right? So when you are ready, you must pay the USCIS, okay, immigrants fee to the United States Citizen and Immigration Service. That is CIS, USCIS. Citizen and Immigration Service, CIS, then US. Okay, so it is US CIS. After you receive your immigrant visa and before you travel to the United States, only children who enter the United States under the orphan or agio adoption program, Iraq or Afghanistan, returning residents and those EU K visa are exempted from paying this, except that you are going to pay that fee. Then vaccination record. Every children are required to have certain vaccination before they can enroll in school in the United States. So it is important and recommended that your child have complete vaccination record before immigrating. Right. Now it is good time for us, right? You must and carry your X-ray with you, not package them in your luggage. Carry them in a folder in your hand. Right. When you enter the United States, when traveling to the United States, the primary applicant must enter before at the same time as family member with their visa. So with your visa, the DV visa and your C package, you will travel to a US point of entry, right? Which most people always call the airport and request permission to enter the United States. The visa does not guarantee entry into the United States, so which means we have three blocks. The first is submitting entry for the DV program. The DV program does not guarantee you getting your visa, but if you finally been selected for the DV program, you apply for your visa, you schedule your visa interview date, you get your visa approved, then you still need to go ahead to enter into the United States through the point of entry. From the point of entry, they are going to check you, request for more information, and when the Department of Homeland Security U.S. Custom, that's the CBP, officially authority, grant or deny admission, then this is where your last faith comes in. If you are being allowed, then they will say welcome home, right? And if you're admitted, you will learn some information about United States, how you keep yourself together, and all of those. Okay, so it is important that we have this information. So I've walked you through all the steps. So there are 10 steps actually. We've talked about them: step one, step two, step three, step four, step five, six, up to the last step, which is step 10. I hope you get information right here today. So it is important that you actually pay attention. So now let's go to the passport information. Now, so for the passport section, I actually talk about what is acceptable. So if you look at this now, you see that we have some passport information right here that you can actually follow through. Right. So all of these are the acceptable passport format. So you must make sure that no background is blur, your face is not blur, nothing is covering your face, and all of those. If you look at this other one, you are going to see that there's a shadow here at the back. Your shadow must not be showing, right? If you also look at this second one, you see that the face is blurred, just like it seems the person scanned this passport somehow. And if you also look at this one, you see there's a color effect on this picture. This is not acceptable, right? So you want to make sure you actually go to this link right here, which is the photo tool, to check for how you can actually uh, get the right passport. And I also show you step by step in a video, in a separate video, how you can then submit your application to this information, right? So now it is good working together with you in this DV program information, and I hope you've actually gotten uh, better information about this. So if you want to check your entry, right, if you've been selected, this is the link I've provided for you here. And also, you can just remove the ESC at the back. This will take you to the information, to the detailed information page of this program. I hope I've done justice to this DV program that is always available for those who wish to migrate to the United States via the DV lottery program. This information is actually one that I think will be helpful to you. So you want to make sure you digest them step by step, right? If you find value here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell. If you have any concern, go back to each of those video, right? And make sure you actually watch them over, right? So the link is still here for you. Make sure you copy that link, and I will try if I can drop it at the comment box. Check that link properly. Okay, if you have any concern, you want to speak with me one on one, you can actually schedule a one on one call with me. Then we can help you resolve your concern. Okay, so this is where I will stop today because I think we've actually had a long ride. Right. So thank you very much, and I hope you get value. See you again.